On this week's Tuesday Talk, we're discussing downsizing and how to get rid of things um, that matter to you. Couple tips. We'll start with the downsizing just in general, and then we'll move on to the more emotional side of things. So when it comes to downsizing, one of our main tips is if you can, take your time.
Yeah, that gives you a lot of time to really start to think about exactly what you use on a day-to-day basis. And it's not like you're just going to sit down, on your couch or something and think about what you use. They're just throughout your day, you will recognize things that you really can't live without and other things that you probably haven't used for weeks and could probably lose.
And we spent months downsizing, and I think we probably did
That helped.
multiple rounds of getting rid of things.
For sure, yeah.
And as we figured out things that we knew we wanted to have in the Airstream, I actually kept a separate list. So it was like, okay, well, we use this a lot in the spring. We're getting to the end of spring. I want to make sure we keep this. So that's why, like, if you have the time, if you have a year, why not just take your time, figure out what you use, what you
Slowly
don't
get rid of
use,
stuff, yeah.
and then slowly get rid of it. And that way you can do yard sales, Goodwill, eBay, Craigslist. There's all sorts of ways to get rid of stuff.
And as you get close to the point where you really have to have your new selection of things that you're going to have in your life, and you still have a ways to go, or you feel like you have a ways to go, try doing this in phases. So the first phase, you get rid of stuff that you clearly can lose. So that you may not get rid of much, but after the first phase of easier stuff, you slowly whittle down your collection. Then enter phase two, where you take a look at your new collection now, and it's like, what can I lose? After that's finished, then you take maybe one more pass, and you think to yourself, okay, what do I have to lose? So the easy to lose stuff, the stuff that you can lose, and then the stuff that you have to lose. And if you take that in phases, especially as you get closer to the point where that stuff has to be gone, that'll probably make it easier for you to mentally process everything that's in front of you and what you actually need to keep.
Another method to possibly try is, if you haven't heard of the Kon Marie Method, you should look it up. And people have it all over YouTube. You can get the book, which I read. I think I shared some of the book. Pretty much her method is to only keep things that bring you joy. And she has a very specific way of going through. You find all of the same product. So every shirt you own, doesn't matter where it is in the house, where it is in storage, you get every shirt you own, you put it in one pile, and then you pick up every single one of them and figure out, does this bring me joy? And if it doesn't, it goes away.
It's easy to say yes to all those questions, though.
No, it's
isn't
not.
It?
No, it's not.
No.
Maybe when you don't have very many shirts.
I have like 5.
But she starts you with the easy stuff like clothing, and then you work towards the more difficult things like memories. So I guess there are lots of different methods to downsize. So if one method doesn't work for you, look up others, because you'll find something that makes it easier. I promise.
Yeah, and photos might be one of the easier things to downsize, because you're not getting rid of the photos. Well, you are the tangible photo, but you don't necessarily lose those photos. You can scan them into your computer and save them on a digital hard drive somewhere. If you have thousands of photographs and you don't have a scanner, or you just don't want to spend the time, by the way, I don't blame you. There are services. I think we used a service.
We used a service
We
as a
shipped
gift
out all of
for
our
my
photos,
parents. Yeah.
had them scan it onto a CD, all those photos onto a CD, and they just shipped the CD back to us.
But you could also take pictures of. There's all different things. So
You can do that, too.
photos and things like that are easy to consolidate. It takes time or money, but it is very easy to get rid of the physical photo. There are some people who have photos that have things written on them. That can be a little more difficult, but you can scan that front and back and have that stored on your computer, so that you still have the handwriting or the message that was on the back of the photo. The same thing can be said for, say you have a t-shirt that has some very strong emotional memory for you, or a dress or something. But you never wear it, and you don't plan on ever wearing it. It's just that you can't imagine giving it up. or anything else, a stuffed animal, anything like that, pictures do wonders. So I would say, think about how often do you pick up this item or look at this item to evoke the memory. And if it's not weekly or daily, then taking a picture of the item and storing it on your hard drive, and then looking at that picture every month or every year or whatever it was that you were looking at that item, is going to evoke the same memories as the item did. So I'm gonna preface this by saying we still do have one bin stored at my parents' house full of my stuffed animal from when I was a child, a stuffed animal from when he was a child.
That little dog?
Yeah. Yearbooks, which I just need to get rid of, but I haven't done that yet. And some photos that we haven't scanned yet. Yeah, mostly me. There are some of your photos that we didn't get scanned that are in there too.
Okay.
So we do have some more stuff we need to go through at some point, but emotional items that did not make the cut to come into the Airstream, we did things like taking pictures of them. In fact, it's really sweet if it's something that someone gave you and they're still around. So if it's something that, say, my mom gave me that I don't want to get rid of it because it evokes the memory of me on a vacation with my mom and a really good time.
Have her hold it.
Have her hold it, or have us both hold it in a photo. And it's even better. It's like you get a picture of her with the item and it still evokes the memory of that time. And that really helped me. Taking pictures of things really helped me. And occasionally I do scroll through the little area that I have of pictures of things, and it makes me smile. And I don't miss the physical objects at all.
Yeah, memories aside, those are things that it's hard to replace. But with your stuff, I think it's important to remember
The stuff is not the memory.
that, well, yes, but if there's something that you get rid of that you actually need, you can always acquire it again.
True.
It's not a one and done. You can never buy another this object or that object again. You just don't think you're going to use it. You take your best guess at the time. Maybe overdo it. Get rid of too much, or intentionally too much, and then slowly reacquire the things that you actually need. Or if you have the flexibility of having a parent or something,
yes,
then have them store stuff for 6 months or whatever, some finite period of time, and then if you end up using that stuff, bring it back. Otherwise, have them sell it, or you sell it, or whatever. Give it away.
It's similar to, if you've ever heard the story of the Minimalists, it's similar to the party that I think Nicholas did, but that one of them did, where they boxed everything they owned up in their entire apartment. And then slowly, as they needed things, found things out of the boxes and took it out. And after a month, anything that was still in a box, they got rid of, because they realized it wasn't essential to their lives. It's kind of like that. If you could box up stuff, put it in while you're still in a house or something, put it into a spare room. If you never touch that stuff, you don't need it. And the only thing that could be holding you back is an emotional attachment to the item, or even a negative emotional attachment. We got married a little over 2 years ago.
Feels like 10.
I love you too, honey. So we got married a little over 2 years ago, and as part of that wedding, we got gifts. And one of those gifts was a nice set of
champagne flutes.
The china glasses, the wine glasses. Yeah, the champagne flutes were only two of them, but we got a whole set of fine china wine glasses that we very seldom used. Once we decided we were going to go full time, we started using them more because we thought we should enjoy them more. But I had the hardest time selling those.
It wasn't making the wine taste better, though.
No, but it was just this thing. I always wanted the fine china wine glasses. They were a gift from family, and it was like this almost a guilt of getting rid of them that was holding me back, until I realized there's nothing to be guilty about. It's holding me back. And what I needed to do was, instead of just selling it to a random stranger or giving it away, I found a family friend who wanted them and gave them to someone I knew who would enjoy them. And that alleviated the guilt of giving away a present, because now I'm gifting it to someone else who I know will enjoy them. And that helped me with those items. So that's another thing to think about, is if it's something you want to get rid of, but you have, someone gave it to you as a gift, and you have this guilt about getting rid of it. Think about giving it to a friend or family member who you know will enjoy it, and that you kind of further the gifting.
You were regifting.
You're regifting, but in the good sense.
But yeah, in a good connotation. Yeah. Not like, oh, I hate this piece of crap, I'm just going to give it away and claim it as my own. Yeah. Not that.
Not that.
Not
no.
that. No.
So I think that's enough of us rambling about decluttering and
I think we pretty much covered it.
So hopefully that helps. If you have any other advice on how to declutter or getting rid of things that have emotional attachment, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below.
I learned I am void of any and all emotion.
Not quite.
For the exception of a few things. It's like, all right, trash.
He is much less emotionally attached to things than I am, but he does have a few things.
I do have a few things,
yes.
Like what you're watching us on right now. Yeah. Camera equipment, it's very important. All right.
Near and dear to his heart.
All right, end it.
Okay, so as always, comment. Let us know if you have any questions for Tuesday Talks. Like this video.
Like us.
Please like us.
Please like us, please. We don't have much confidence.
If you like what we're doing. And we'd love it if you would subscribe. And with that, we will see you next time.
Sayonara.
Bye.